Hey y'all, happy Monday, happy Monday. I hope that the rest of our sisters will make it in so we can have us a good little chat today. Um, I enjoyed y'all this morning, those of you who were here for Good Morning Royals. I always do. And the housekeeping part of the program, please hit the like button for me, if you will. I see 14 likes. So y'all please help me out and hit that good old button, okay? Y'all know it means a lot to me. I'm out here begging for likes as usual. I really appreciate it. So hit the like button, subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you've been here a couple times and you enjoy hanging out over here with us at the Royal Family, make sure that you please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and make sure you click all so you will be aware and they'll alert you, hopefully, every time we go live. Now, for those of you who want to be added to text notifications, all you have to do is give me a email or inbox me on Instagram, which is Shanitra_Royal, and my email is Shanitra@philsdaughter.com, and I will happily add you to text notifications so that way you know that you'll know that I'm going live. And if you're interested in becoming a Royal Family member, the link for membership is in the description box below. Okay? And if you're not able to do so due to financial reasons, don't let that worry you. You can still take part in all of our events. Just contact us and let us know that you want to be a member, but right now you just can't. We're going to have your back. Okay, we have sisters who are willing to sponsor as well as myself. So please don't allow money or cost to prohibit you or to be an obstacle for you if you would like to be a part of the Royal Family and take part in the things we do around here. Okay? Now, with that being said, let me holler at everybody because y'all know I like to do that. Okay? You say what now? How you doing? You say you caught me live. I'm glad you caught me. I am happy to be happy. How are you? Wani, that's my Wani. How you doing? Jesse X, good to see you. You say you listening along. How you doing? All right, Wonder Woman Marshall. Queen Mermaid, how are you? Happy to see you. Auntie Eva, good to see you. Let's see who else is in here. Miss Sparkle, all right. Alita, hey Alita, how you doing? Jay Rucker, you made it in. High Vibe, how are you? We got Learning to Love Myself in the room. Lady C Red, how you doing? Keisha E, the beautiful Keisha E, hey. Egypt Now made it. All right, there's my Christian Key. How are you? We have Derby Diva Empowerment, good to see you. Nakisha Hooks, happy afternoon to you. Happy Monday. DV, good to see you. Easy Breezy, our mom to be. How you doing, darling? We got Sherry K. Hello. Deeper than skin deep. Girl, I ain't seen you in a while. How you been? It's so good to see you all. I love y'all so much. Lauren Frazier, it's good to see you. Evangelist, we're good to see you. All right. Sharon Redmond, hey there. Auntie's baby, that's my jazzy cuteness. How you doing? Anna L, how you doing? My sis Spiller, how you doing, sister? You listening and driving? Okay. Lady Di made it in. How you doing? We got S. Collins and Lala. All right. Now, anybody else that comes in, if I miss you, you took a little break. That's all right. As long as you're back, we happy to see you. If I miss your name and you come in, please know, charge it to my head and not my heart. I don't mean it like that. All right. And anybody else that's listening, if you didn't speak and I didn't know you were here, I'm greeting you as well. And I'm very happy to know that you're here so we can have this conversation. I think this is a much needed conversation. Let me do my announcements real quick. Those of you who have not voted on the movie for movie night, just a reminder, movie night is going to be this Friday. This Friday. It looks like Boomerang is winning, but it's not too late to vote. So if you are a member of the Royal Family, meaning you join channel membership, go over to the community tab, make sure you cast your vote and be ready for Friday because somebody's going to win some Uber Eats on me. So we're going to have a little fun with that, okay? Also, want to make you aware. Hey, Chanel D. Queen, want to make you aware that we will be having the Fall Masquerade Ball on October the 8th, which is the second Friday of October. Okay, so it's going to be fun. We're going to be giving out prizes, so be ready for that. I will be promoting it more and giving you more information. Hey, Angie, as the time grows closer, I'm going to give you more and more and more information on that. Okay, and we have some other movie nights coming up. Um, just stay tuned. We keep lots of things to keep you all engaged and keep you busy over here with the Royal family while you hanging out with me. And I appreciate you guys. And those of you who make it to Good Morning Royals, I'm so glad that you make it. I usually try to make it around 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern time every morning. I used to be up at 5:45 in the morning and do it, but I just felt bad bothering people that time of day. I know some people enjoyed it, but I didn't know if everybody did. So I didn't want to just keep doing that. And plus, y'all know I took a little break from that when my voice first started acting up. And it looks like this 9:30 time, 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern, it looks like that works better for people. So I'm going to keep it at that time. But those of you who do make it for Good Morning Royals, I salute you and I thank you and I love you all anyway. So let's get into this talk, right? Now, normally, y'all know I have my nice little silly comedic titles. This time, not so much. This time, we just gonna talk about loss, okay? Processing loss and a real talk about grief. Y'all gonna make me grieve in a minute. I see 38 likes and there's 51 of y'all in here. Please, please hit that like button. If y'all want me to beg, I can. I can't get on both knees because one of them bad. But please hit the like button for me. Help your sister out. I appreciate it. Okay. So, what we're talking about is healthy ways to process loss. And I feel like, to be honest, y'all, this is a conversation we have to have because there's been so much loss here lately. I want to say over the last year and a half, here lately, it seems like it's just back to back. We're all losing people and people that we care about. It's showing 43 on your end. Okay. Well, it's 53 in the chat. I need 10 more likes. We're losing people at such a rate that we got to pay attention to it. We got to take time and talk about it because I think more times than not, we kind of sweep it under the rug in a way because we don't want to hear the criticism from people who are insensitive and they don't want to allow you to process your loss the way you need to process it in order for you to be healthy. So a lot of times we take the stance that we'll kind of keep it to ourselves or we will hide while we try to suppress. We're not really processing the loss. We're suppressing it. Okay, Anna L., I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay, high vibe, that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't even look on my Facebook like that anymore. I know when we do front porch gossip, I'll check the relationship groups and get questions and stuff to bring to y'all. But other than that, I don't even look on Facebook like that anymore. And that's how, like the last week I was telling you guys, I saw that one of my very close classmates had passed. And I hadn't been looking on Facebook because it's every time you open it, another person is gone. And so we can avoid the conversation, but it's not going to change the fact that we're still losing folks. It's not going to change the fact that right now we're in the middle of a pandemic and, other things are still happening. Before I got live with you all today, I had a call from someone who just lost somebody to cancer. I'm not even joking. Like, that's how heavy this thing has gotten for us. So we have to address it. This is not an elephant in the room that we can hide from. This one is a woolly mammoth. Okay. And there's just no way around it. But I'm not even kidding. I was on the phone with my good sis, Mercy, and we were talking and I had a call and I thought it was my daughter when I first looked at it. But when I clicked over, it was another dear friend who was expressing that she had lost someone dear to her. And it wasn't the virus. It was something else. One of those other things that can take life. Listen, I know we all get caught up in this Carnival 19 talk. And we think that is the only thing that's still taking people. Let me just tell you, death did not take a holiday. People are still leaving here. They're still dying from accidents. They're still dying from violent acts. They're still dying from cancer and other diseases. They're still dying from old age, asthma, you name it. Death did not take a holiday. There's not some new death that took over from the old one and he only comes to get you if you get to Carnival 19. That's not what's happening right now. That's not the hour that we're in. Okay? So we have to address these things because it's not going away. We need to look at the reality of it and we got to figure out a way to process it. We got to figure out a way to process it so that we can still keep our minds healthy. Because whether we want to admit it or not, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, death and loss, while they are a part of life, they are very traumatic. They leave trauma for us. We need to really consider and find ways, get tools that will help us process these losses. We got to find ways to process these losses. Okay? Now, the first question I want to ask is, are y'all okay? And I mean that. I'm not even joking. Are y'all okay? I call you all my family. I call you all my sisters. Some of y'all my brothers. Are you okay? Because we've all experienced so much loss here recently that I need to know if you're okay. And I think that's something that we don't really ask each other enough in a real way, expecting an answer. Most time when people say, are you okay? It's more or less like a greeting. It's almost a hypothetical. They don't really care about the answer and they don't want to hear it if you try to give it to them. Okay? So I'm asking you, are you all right? Lala says she is not okay. Her sister just passed from cancer. Sis, we praying for you. We love you. And thank you for being transparent and honest that you're not okay right now. I get it. You at about a 5 right now. Okay. Got it. Some days are better than others, but honestly, no. Happy to be happy. You all right. Okay. Evangelist, you say you not doing all right. You not okay. Learning to love myself. You all right? All right. I'm going to take my time because I just want to make sure that my sisters are good. Miss Sharon said, I don't think I'm okay. I lost several and I don't feel anything. It's not normal. It's not. That's that numbness. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it. Anna L said, doing the best I can. Yeah. Keisha didn't finish typing. Yeah, send love to each other. Give each other support. Queen Mermaid says, I'm okay. I have needed encouragement and always get the uplifting I need in Crown Chat. I'm happy to hear that. You really needed this. Your older sister passed away a year ago. I understand. And and let me just tell you guys, it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to say that you're not okay. And don't let anybody shame you or make you feel as though you have to hide what you're going through. You need to speak out loud and say what you're going through. It's a lot of people that are suffering right now because of loss. Sherry K said, I lost my mother and sister in a 5-year period. My goodness. We're here for you, sis, and we're praying for you. Yep. You made it, Jam. It's okay if you're late. Jazzy, you taking it one day at a time? All right. All right. Enlightened Hugh, you say you at a 9. All right. You doing much better than this time last year. Easy Breezy says, honestly, I've been saying yes, but in reality, I'm ducking and dodging people. I'm not ready to return to work, but I know I have to. Okay. Understandable. Alita said, I'm hanging in there. I lost my father and sister in 2015 and lost 5 family members due to Rona in this past year. It's been difficult. I understand. Yep. I still have those too. You somewhat all right. Okay. I'm okay, but how do I help my best friend who lost her dad this morning? You see what I'm saying? It's all around. Be there and encourage your best friend. Baby, pray and we'll pray with you. Hey, BJ Dez. We just checking on our sisters right quick because we got to do that. We got to check in. And I feel bad. I do my best to try to back y'all. But that's why I keep encouraging you all to exchange information with each other, because I want you at a six, Angie. I want to be there for everybody as much as I can. I love you guys. But do y'all see this? This is just to give you an illustration. I asked that question for a reason. And I wanted y'all to be honest for a reason. I wanted you to see that your sisters are going through it too. You are not alone. There are many people that are trying to process grief and loss at this time. It's one of those things that we cannot run from. It's happening at such a rate. I was just telling somebody, it almost is so much death. Hey, Delicia, it almost feels like we eating it. It's just everywhere, like we're inhaling it. Yes. Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad that you did start therapy. Taking it one day at a time. Okay. And Jazzy, it's normal for it to hit you in waves. We're going to talk about it. That's a very good thing to do, Miss Sparkle. Very good thing to do. So y'all get the idea. You get the idea. Folks are not okay right now. So the fact that you're not feeling your best, or that the feeling of depression is coming in waves, or the fact that you have days where you don't feel yourself, or you feel blah, like you said, high vibe, it's something right now. It's just a state of being. It's a condition that we're all in at this moment. Okay? So let's look at what death is logically. Let's look at it logically before we deal with the emotion of it, because the emotional part of this is real as well. It's very real because you can feel it. It's affecting you. It affects your thinking process. It affects your mental health. It even affects your body systems. It affects you. So it's real. It's very real. Hey, DGF. Logically, what it is, it's a natural part of life. It's inevitable and unavoidable. It's an end to the state of being alive. It is going to happen for all of us at one point or another, as in every man born of a woman gonna die one day. We all got to go that way. It's also painful. It leaves a feeling of loss, a void, almost an emptiness there. And it can also leave you numb. After you feel enough pain, you can also feel just numb. You know, the logics of it, the logic of what it is, and then some of the things that it can cause. Y'all give me a few examples in the chat of some of the things that you felt, just factual feelings, things that you experienced, sensory things that you experienced associated with loss. Whether it was depression, whether it was loss of appetite, whether it was insomnia. Give me some examples of some of the things you have experienced due to grieving and loss. That is a very common one. Confusion. It's hard to process. Hey, Princess, you made it in. Sadness. Yes. These are the types of things that we need to get out. Anger, depression. It's very common to be angry. When I lost my father, I was angry for a very long time. Numb. Depression, anxiety, insomnia, no motivation. JC says it's a sinking feeling that feels like it's pushing you down. Disconnected, hurt, helplessness. As Colin says, hopeless. Lady Di, hold on. Lady Di's got a heavy one in there. Regret, dead in the middle. Insomnia, regret, and anxiety. Okay, Queen Mermaid, you really getting into those psychosomatic stress presentations. The chest pain, the insomnia, fatigue, lack of concentration, stomach pain. Yes, overwhelmed. All of these things are associated with processing grief and loss. Yep, sometimes you can. disconnect. Yes, all of these things are associated with that. And all of these feelings, hey, Lollipop, you made it in. Isolation, definitely. Definitely. It's easy to feel isolated because you start to feel like other people don't understand what you're going through. You start to just feel like other folks simply do not understand what you are going through. So it can happen. So these are some of those feelings that you're going to experience, or some of you are experiencing right this minute. Okay? I mean, as we speak, you're going through it right now. And I understand that. But the reason why I say it's important to be open about it, do not get in the habit of sweeping it under the rug, and do not get in the habit of allowing people to shame you into pretending you're okay when you know for a fact that you are the furthest thing from okay. It's not healthy. And all of those things that we mentioned, Queen Mermaid's comment was so spot on. Those psychosomatic stress presentations, meaning the mental stress and anguish that you're passing through, can actually cause physical trauma, physical pain, physical stimuli. Even depression can give you body aches, pains, headaches, stomach aches, all kind of, gastrointestinal difficulties, flatulence. I know as we laugh about it, but that's something that can be caused by stress. You can end up with ulcers. So this isn't child's play. This is not child's play. So you need to talk about it so that you're able to either get help or help yourself so that you can process it in a healthy way. You need to have a healthy way to process it. Okay? Now, I know we've all heard of the 5 stages of grief, right? Have we all heard of the 5 stages of grief? Which are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Are we aware of those? Let me go over those again. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance. Now, one thing that I want to point out is that they don't always happen in that order. They don't. Sometimes they happen in that order and sometimes they don't. Jazzy, you hadn't? Okay. Well, those are considered the 5 stages of grief. Okay? So all of those feelings, even a lot of the examples that y'all gave me, fit into those. And I said all that to say this. I wanted you to understand that what you're passing through, the way you're feeling, it is a natural human response to loss. There is nothing happening that would say that there's something wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You're having a human response to losing a loved one, to losing people close to you. And sometimes, here's something else that I want you to consider. Even when it's not people that's close to you, there's also a psychological effect when there's just a lot of death around you. Just to keep seeing other people experience it back to back and to have it around us so much, it does affect us. And you are fooling yourself to think that it does not. Lollipop, I saw your comment and you're right. I saw what you said about your daughter, and definitely my heart goes out to you. And like you said, long time ago, still feel the sadness. I wanted to highlight that comment for real because there is no time limit on grief. I want to get that out there because I don't want anybody to be thinking, because people will do that to you. They will feel like because they've gotten past your loss that you need to hurry up and get past your loss. You do not. You do not need to hurry up and get past your loss. There's no time limit on grief. Okay? Now, those 5 stages of grief that I mentioned, okay? That's what the experts say. That's what the experts are saying. And this was about over 50 years ago, they came up with this, the 5 stages. So when you start getting into the denial, I'm going to give y'all a brief synopsis of what they're talking about. We're not going to dwell on that. We're going to get into the real part of the conversation. Okay? Denial is when you lose someone important to you. It's natural to reject the idea that it's true. Sometimes we have a hard time accepting that this is really happening. Okay? And what that looks like in real time for some of us is that we may have a delayed grief response, meaning you might be all right during the planning of the services. You may be okay while the family is meeting together, everybody's sharing out food. You may be okay after the service, after the repast. You may be okay for a week, and then all of a sudden one day it just hits you like a ton of bricks. I think I told y'all before, I went through that with my father first. And like I said, these things don't go in order. When it first happened, I went straight to the depression, straight to the depression. And then I went into denial, and I didn't have a huge grief response. And then it hit me like maybe a month or so later when I had to go grocery shopping. And it hit me that my daddy did all my grocery shopping, and I had to go for myself. That's when it tore me up. Sometimes these different stages can be triggered by things. Certain things will exacerbate different stages. And when I say exacerbate, meaning they'll make them worse or can bring them on out. Okay, so denial is a normal thing. You know, people will say, oh, she's in shock or what have you. But we're talking about the same thing. The anger portion of it is when it's no longer possible to live in denial, it's common to become frustrated and angry. We start to feel like something is unfair about what happened to us. You know, we focus during the anger portion of grief. It's more or less a focusing on ourselves and how we feel and how we're processing it and the loss that we're feeling. We may not even consider how the other people who lost the person is feeling during that stage. And it is normal. Do not allow anybody to come and guilt you. Oh, you're selfish. You're being a narcissist. What about your sisters? What about your brothers? Absolutely not. When you are processing this loss, understand that how you feel about it is what's important at that time. Because if you don't keep your own mind healthy, you cannot help anybody else. So it's normal to become frustrated once you can't deny it and it's in your face like this person is actually gone. There's no getting around it. This is really what it is. Anger is normal. You still have to keep control of yourself, but anger is a normal thing. Okay? Another stage in grief, they have listed as bargaining. In that stage, you may want to try to find a way to change the circumstance or the situation. They gave an example like a religious person whose loved one is in the process of transitioning may start to try to bargain with God. You know, Lord, if you can just keep mama here, if you can just keep granny here. You know what I mean? Things like that. That's also a part of grief. And I want to point out to those of you who haven't, the person that you're worried about has not gone yet. Understand that grieving can begin before they transition because your heart is already preparing you for that loss. Again, it is normal. We're going to talk about how to process these things. But I want to point out some specific things because I want you to understand that it is normal to have these feelings, these emotions, and these grief responses, okay? So that nobody can guilt you, because sometimes people in their ignorance can say things that are very damaging, okay? Depression, we all know what that is. We ain't got to get into it, you know, but there is a fine line between grief and depression, and I think we all know what that is. The other stage, hey, Miss G, that is listed is final. The one that they say is final or eventually is the acceptance. I want to tell you, first of all, even once you hit acceptance, understand that you still may cycle back to anger. You may cycle back to the depression, and understand that all of that is normal. There is no time limit. There is nobody that can tell you on a pie chart or on a graph or on a whiteboard or dry erase board or chalkboard, this is how it's supposed to go, and this is how you have to process it. That simply is not true. It is absolutely, it's an unfair assumption. is what it is. And I hope that none of us are doing that to anybody else either. It's a very unfair assumption and it's an unfair assertion. Even if you went through it a certain way, we simply cannot assume that just because you were able to process it that way, that everyone else will be too. It's just not true. It's just not true. Okay. Hey, Dana. So I want to kind of bring a couple of things out. And I'm going to ask y'all for some input too on some things that we can do that we know of. And I may mention a few things that you haven't thought of to help ourselves to process and to cope in a way that is productive. Because we all cope, but some of our coping mechanisms, and I know y'all hear me say all the time, maladaptive. Things that are maladaptive are usually counterintuitive. They're counterproductive. Sometimes they can be self-destructive, but we still use those tools, those behaviors as a mean to cope. Okay? There's my dear sister. Y'all tell my sis hi. I love her so much. So y'all please welcome her here. Okay? But some healthy tools that I found that helps, and I definitely want to get some of your feedback as well on how to cope with grief in a way that is productive. Okay? One, and I'm going to start with the lighter end. Y'all know I like to work from light to heavy. So on the lighter end of things is possibly artistic expression. And when I say artistic expression, I don't mean that you're going to wake up and become Donatello or Michelangelo or any of them other Ninja Turtles. That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in reality, paint, draw, sing, cook, whatever it is that you need to do. Queen Mermaid, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh my gosh, I wasn't even expecting any super chats today because I know we're talking about such a heavy topic, but I appreciate you. She says, thank you for the information you're discussing. In our culture, we are taught to pray and keep going, but are not given the tools for healthy healing. Thank you so much for the super chat and thank you for the encouraging words. I appreciate that. G, darling, thank you for coming in, babe. Glad you made it. Glad you made it. Okay? So when I start talking about artistic expression, find ways to express. Even if you don't do it well, that's a good way to channel some of that energy out. If you're grieving, if you're angry, put it on a canvas, put it on paper. Artistic expression, it's your friend. Put it out there. Okay? That's all right, Evangelist. I understand. You can call me later. Okay? Another thing that you can do that is very good for helping yourself to express the things that you're going through is by talking. Right, regular old talking. But I don't mean doing what we normally do when we're grieving, which is we talk about everything else and we try to put on that mask. We talked about those masks in one of our earlier crown chats, okay? Talk about what you're going through. Be vocal. Let somebody know. And we all talk about it. That's why I'm always telling you guys to grab your accountability mirrors and spam the chat. Make sure that you have filled your circle with people that you can trust to be vocal with. Talk about what you're feeling. If you're feeling angry, say it. And don't worry about how it sounds. Don't go trying to pick words that you think people are not going to judge you for. Talk and be vocal about what you're feeling. Even if you think it sounds bad. Hey, DT. G, darling, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Wow. G, darling says, thank you for this much needed topic. I believe in journaling as a part of my healing. Bless you all. That is beautiful. But yeah, talk, emote. And then let's just say this. If you have not found good people to put in your circle that you can trust, and thank y'all for spamming the chat with those royal accountability mirrors. I appreciate that. Talk and be honest. Thank you, G darling, about your feelings. If you don't have people in your circle that you can trust, or even if it's just that you don't feel like you can, go to a therapist so that you can talk and you don't have fear of reprisal or judgment for what you are saying. You have to be able to get it out, vocalize. Words are important. Use them. Say what you need to say. The next tool I got is the one G Darling was talking about, writing or journaling. Some of you, we found out during the Royal Talent Fest, are excellent poets. You guys can, you all wax poetic at the drop of a dime, and you can put it into a lyrical form, and you can write it in poetic verses. But some people are not poets. Get a journal. I don't care if you get a spiral notebook from the Dollar Tree. Begin to journal. Begin to write what you're experiencing. Sometimes day to day, keep a log of what you're feeling. Because here's the truth. You may be okay on Monday, but by Tuesday, you may be back in tears. By late Tuesday night, you might be mad again. As you start to process these things and have different feelings, start to write them down. Keep a journal of your feelings. Write down how you're feeling. And sometimes, this is the other thing. The people around us, and I don't mean the close people, sometimes it's the people in the community, the folks at the church, sometimes it's your kin folks. They don't know what to say to you when you are grieving. Y'all know that, right? Let me see some bullseyes in the chat if y'all know what I'm talking about. When you're going through, there are some people that just do not know what to say out of their mouths. They will say almost anything to you. They will. They will walk up to you and say things that you really don't need to hear. They start telling you foolishness like, well, it'll be all right. It'll get better. A lot of times we don't want to hear that. Sometimes we really don't want to hear that because it's not always true that we're going to be all right. Not right now. And sometimes you don't want to hear that at that moment. That's not where you are in your grief process. Some people can walk up and say the most insensitive things. I think Easy Breezy was telling us this morning that somebody said to her, "Are you still crying?" People can be very insensitive. So journaling is good with that. If you run into a real scumbag and they don't know what to say or they're careless with your feelings, right? Miss Sharon just said a real one here. I know how you feel. You don't. You just don't. You don't know how they feel. Hey, Allison. So the truth of the matter is, when you begin to write down and you grab your journal and you make your journal and you start putting that stuff down, that's a good place to let that out. Because sometimes those insensitive people can really pile on to our grief. And instead of making our situations better, they make them a whole lot worse. So we need to, use that as a tool. Another tool that I want to put here, hey, D. Marie, is, and DT is here with my notes. And I know y'all are accustomed to me highlighting many more comments. This conversation, I'm not doing that intentionally because I want you all to be able to talk without having to worry about every little thing you say and being put on blast. You know what I mean? But I am going to highlight DT's notes because his notes are awesome and they may help you to kind of keep a little outline, if you care to, about what I'm talking about, right? Another tool we want to use is meditation. I don't know how many of you meditate, but I'm going to tell you that every one of you should at some point or another. I don't care whether you just put on soft music, whether you use gospel music, whether you read your word and just sit down and just focus on the words that you just read, whether you, like me, like I have, some of you know, and JC knows because she got it for me, but I always wanted one and now I have one. I have my sound bowl. That helps me to focus in on the sound and kind of tune other things out. McQueen Mermaid says she uses the Calm app. Yeah, sometimes you can use like nature sound, whatever it is. Focus and meditate. Meditation is very good and a very good tool to help you not be so focused on the negative stimuli associated with loss and grief. Another tool is to stay busy. Stay busy. Keep engaged. Don't stop going to church. Don't stop going around people. Stay in contact with people. Because when we start going through denial, denial can cause isolation. Depression can cause isolation. That is the absolute worst thing that you need to do. Okay? That's one of the worst things that you can do for yourself. Go around people. Interact with people. Okay? You need to immerse yourself in life. Don't be so focused on death. Immerse yourself in life. Get around people. Stay active. Stay busy. Go volunteer somewhere. Keep your hands busy. Stay involved with the living. Stay involved with people who need you. You understand what I'm saying? Stay busy. Another thing you can do that's associated with staying busy and keeping in contact with people is encourage other people. Let me tell you something. Very important. How many of you know, and I want to see a show of bullseyes if y'all know where I'm coming from. How many of you are aware that sometimes when you take a minute to encourage somebody else, that you're also encouraging yourself? How many of y'all know that? By a show of bullseyes in the chat. How many of you are aware that sometimes when you take a quick minute, just a quick minute out of your day to give somebody a kind word and encourage them a little bit further, no matter what they're going through, that you are also encouraging yourself? I see the bullseyes coming in. Encourage other people. Haven't y'all noticed that pretty much every day when I leave you all, what do I tell you? Be encouraged, and most of all, remember to encourage somebody else. Just by you opening yourself up, opening up your frequency to put out the energy that it takes to encourage somebody else, it amplifies that same encouragement for you because you're open. When you encourage others, you're encouraging yourself. You're doing yourself a favor. Begin to do that. Encourage others, and it'll bounce right back to you. You'll find yourself smiling for no reason. And sometimes we do have to encourage ourselves. Yeah, Queen Mermaid, that's my song. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. You have to. It's good to do. Encourage other people. It's good for you. It's good for them, but it's also good for you. So make sure that you do that. And this last tool that I want to drop before I start asking for what y'all got is one that is near and dear to my heart. It has helped me. It may sound crazy to you, but I want y'all to roll with me on this one. Make sure that the way you live every single day honors the life of the person that you're missing. Make sure, I'm going to say that again. Make sure, and I'm going to add a couple words. Make sure that you know that the way you're living your life right now honors the person that you're missing. Okay? And what I mean by that is, I know for me, like I said, I can't speak for anybody else. I can only speak for me. April 2013, my whole life turned upside down. The best man I knew took it on himself to get up and leave me. After I went through the depression and anger and denial and more depression, more anger, more denial, acceptance, back to anger and whatnot, I eventually understood that one tool that helps me more than everything is living every single day in a way that I know Phil is honored. And what I mean by that is, he was a giver, so I give. He was strong, so I'm strong. He encouraged other people, so I encourage other people. He kept people laughing, so I keep y'all laughing. He was unapologetic, and so am I. He defended people who could not defend themselves. So that's what I do. So sometimes that's one of the best things you can do to reconcile those huge, gargantuan losses. If you know your grandmother was a praying woman, make sure that your prayer life is on point if you miss her so much. Because I can guarantee you, those people that we miss, the world misses them too. If you miss them so much, make sure that you are taking up their mantle. Make sure that you are giving the world what they lost when this person left. If your mother was a caretaker, you be that for somebody. If you know that your father was a provider, then you do that for somebody. Remember to put back what's been taken away. Put it back every day. Do something so that you don't forget who they were and that the world is still seeing a piece of them in you. That's been one of the biggest things that helped me to put my brain back together when it started to fragment, is to make sure that when I showed up in the world, y'all saw Phil. I made sure that when I show up, you know that you're looking at Phil's daughter. That's one of the biggest things that we can do, is to make sure that the life that we're living right now honors that person's memory and it honors the kind of life that they lived. And if peradventure you know that you can't look in the mirror and you're not living a life that your granny, your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your big sister, your cousin, your teacher, if you know you're not living a life that they would be proud of for you, if you know you living in a way that they would never, ever, ever, pat you on the back, then maybe it's time that you grab that accountability mirror and look in it. If they meant that much to you, live in a way that honors them every day so that will help you process it. That you're taking a piece of them and you still giving the world just a little bit of that person. So that the loss, while it's significant, it will not be a total loss. Okay? Do y'all have any, what are some of y'all suggestions for healthy ways to process these losses? What are some of the healthy ways to process them? Give me some other ones, because I can't think of everything. I try to think of a lot, but y'all know I tell you, I'm not the smart sister. We got some smart sisters in here. I might be the real sister, but I ain't always smart. Unfortunately, right? Hey, Candace. Hey, Shashi. So, Keisha, you say you still talk to her, especially in the kitchen. When I mess rice up, I say, okay, you're going to have to help me bring this rice back to life. Then I start reaching for things I never thought to put in the rice. Okay, well, if that works, talking to the person, ain't nothing wrong with that. It's okay. Queen Mermaid, you say it's all been said. I think it's got to be more. Got to be more. Lady C Red says, I often volunteer because my loved ones did that. Yep. Living in ways that honors them and their lives and the lives they live. No more, y'all have no more suggestions for what we can do and not just for me, for our other sisters, because we've already seen that people are going through, we're all going through Focus on the good times. Yes, that is a good one. Family Forever says honor them in a major project. You can talk to them in your mind. I like that. That's very good. JC says being in a grief support group may help. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. And you did encourage some other people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shashi gave us a good one. Focus on the good times. I like Family Forever too. Take on a big project and do it in their honor. That's good too. That falls under keeping your hands busy, keeping yourself busy. Because listen, at the end of the day, whether we address it and talk about it or we sit up and we run and we hide from it, it is not going to change the fact. It's not. The fact is and remains, we cannot stop death from happening. Until this world stops spinning, it's going to keep happening. And right now, there's so much of it. Well, I was on live with y'all last night and I got a text message that there was a loss in my family. And I just had to play it off and keep right on going with y'all. Because I don't believe in bringing my grief out as content or doing the sympathy play. Like that just ain't me, and y'all know it. It's the truth. So in reality, it's not going anywhere. So we have to have these conversations so we can look at the bright side, look at the positive way to process these negative feelings associated with grief and loss. Keisha says you collect elephants and host dinner like she would. Exactly. Do the things that they would do. Very good thing to do. JC said, keeping yourself away from negative people that mean you know well while you're grieving. That is also good. Avoid. We all know who the negative people are. We have seen it 100 times. Avoid them. You don't need that toxicity. As Colin said, a cousin and I started our annual family reunions. Yes, that is a beautiful way to process grief and loss and make it into something good. Turn it into something beautiful. Okay? Gotcha. Jesse X said we gave back through creating a scholarship in Dad's honor. I love that. Oh, that is beautiful. Alita says, I built a relationship with my half-sister who was the outside child since my dad's passing, and we've developed a stronger bond. Alita, that is beautiful. Absolutely. Deborah Summerall said, remember the resurrection. God cannot lie, and he promised the resurrection of the good and bad. It's written, all is not lost. God will remember them. I love you, Deborah. I love you. Learning to love myself says, me and my family walked for cancer in honor of my mother. I like that. That is a very good one. I've seen people doing that. Chris Stephanie says, I'm late as usual. Okay, gotcha. Hold on, let me get Sharon's. I have a wall of remembrance. Nice. Photos of my loved ones that have passed. Very good. Very, very good. Miss G says, I fix their favorite meals and serve the family and take that food to the sick and shut-in elders. I love it. Very good thing to do. Very positive. That doesn't allow you to wallow in grief, but it allows you to take a part of them to the world. I love that. Kia says, late again, watching from the beginning. Hey, darling. Hey, Vita. So yeah, y'all get the idea. Y'all get the idea. I just felt like we had to have that talk as a family because there's just so much happening. There's so much happening, and it's getting heavy. And we want to be there for you. Desiree, thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate you supporting the stream. She says, I needed this today. I'm teary-eyed, but thank you. And thank you, sis. I appreciate the love and support from you. And we're here to love and support each other. I just appreciate all of you guys. Oh, that was you, Lady C Red. Thank you so much. Okay. Bless your heart. Your loved ones are not gone. They are reunited with family. You still have things to do. That's why you're here. Do what makes them happy. Very good words. Very, very positive. Queen Mermaid said, journaling always helps me get my emotions out. It's also a way to see the progression of my mood. Yes, as I write about what I'm going through, how I write how I felt at the start of the entry and at the end. Very good. Hey, Nicole. She says, I did a memory garden with my children to honor my mother in love. She lived to garden, and now they can go to the garden to spend time thinking of her and planning new life every spring. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Hey, Shrink and Sharon. Let's see. Helene, what you got? Hey, Kimberg. Helene says, I host dinner twice a year in honor of my loved ones who passed on. I like that. I like that. See, this is the thing. This is what I want us to do. We got to normalize having conversations that may hurt a little, but do it in a setting with people that really are not going to judge you or put you in any uncomfortable situation, and allow you to speak openly. No blame, none of that, no attacks. Just be able to speak openly without judgment and just say how you feel and what you're going through. And I also want us to normalize asking each other how we doing. Okay, let's ask each other how we doing and really mean that thing. And I mean it, and listen to what they're saying. Sherry K, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you supporting the stream. I love you right back. We got to get in the habit of doing that. That's why I keep telling you all, hey, Marva, yes, hit the like button. The rest of y'all hit the like button too. Help me out. I keep trying to encourage you all to please, again, hey, Iridescent, hey, Toffee, scrapbooking. Oh, that's a good one. I ain't seen that one. Toffee says, San Diego says, hello, scrapbooking is comforting. Yes, very good, very good. Wow. Girl, you're going through a lot. I understand. I can't say I understand, but I empathize. I want to say the right word. I keep encouraging you all. Exchange information with your sisters. I'm here for you, but I promise you, I'm only one lady. I can only do but so much, and then the thread gonna pop. And I try to be there for everybody, but I feel like we can be there for each other. We are a family. We are the royal family. So we're supposed to be here for each other. Stay in contact with your sisters. I don't care if you think they're doing fine. Every now and then, just say, how you doing? How you feeling over there? And I know we get busy. I know we got other things to do. I know we're experiencing our own losses and all that stuff. But don't be so caught up that you forget to check on your people. People say always check on your strong friends because they're the ones who need it, right? However, hey, see, wow, my gosh. See, that's what I'm saying. It's everywhere. We're praying for you, sis. We have to check on each other. And people say check on your strong friends. They're the ones that need it. But let me say this to the strong friends, because I'm one of the strong friends. I feel like, and I could be wrong. Y'all know I'm not the smartest person in the room most days. But I feel like some of us were made stronger so that we can pick up the slack for those around us who are not as strong. It's okay that they're not as strong. It's okay that they're not as tough as we are. Everybody wasn't built the same. All fingers ain't the same length. But if you know you're stronger than your sister, lend her your strength. When you see that, you may have gone through the exact same thing that they went through and you handled it better. If you know that you have more strength, let me tell you something. Lend your strength to your sister. Lend it to her. Check on people. Make sure they're okay. Your strength is not yours alone. Let's be there for each other. Let's talk. Let's get things out. And let's not be afraid to vocalize, to use artistic expression, to grab your journals and write, meditate, stay busy. All those things, all those positive things that we came up with that we can do. Miss Sparkle got another one. I'm hitting the wrong one and moving so fast. I donate chemo care packages to patients going through chemo. Yes, good things to do. Good things to do. That's right. I am the strong friend. I am the strong sister. That's the whole point. Be there for somebody. And I'm not going to belabor the topic. I feel like we talked about it. Hopefully, we got it out. Y'all always know my contact information. You always know I'm going to holler back. Either way, I'm going to reach out to you. If it takes me more than a few minutes, forgive me, but y'all know y'all always hear back from me. But also, be there for each other as well. If there's anything I can do, let it be known. Auntie Eva, I try to tell people, exchange y'all's Instagram handles. That way y'all can DM each other. And a lot of y'all have. A lot of you all have exchanged your Instagram handles so that you can talk with each other. If you want to speak any other way, I'm not opposed to it. But I'm just saying, be there for your sisters and show love. Show love. It ain't going to cost you nothing. Okay? So listen, I hope that we got a few smiles in the middle of this heavy conversation. I hope that y'all don't hold it against me that we had this heavy conversation. But I felt like it needed to be had because we can't escape what's happening around us. We have to acknowledge it because it is a very real thing. It's this dispensation that we're in. It's very real and it's not going anywhere anytime soon, it looks like. So we had better find ways to cope and stay healthy and support and encourage and uplift each other so we can get through it. Okay? And yes, Queen Mermaid said it for me. Okay? There we go. Thank you to everyone who shared in the chat. I thank every last one of you, and I appreciate you all for hanging out because I know this was tough. Like it brought up a lot of my old, feelings that I had. It's not easy to have these conversations, but I thank you all for being here and just being support to your sisters, being support to me, and allowing me to be support to you while we talk about what we're all going through. Okay? So I'm gonna let y'all go. I try to be careful with the time. Hold on one second. Alita, thank you so much for the cash app. She just says, I love you, sis. I love you right back, Lita. I appreciate you supporting the stream and supporting the channel. Y'all know me, so you know what's gonna happen. All we gonna do is put it right back into one of our prizes or something that we're doing. I just love you all. I want y'all to stay encouraged. Be encouraged, be prayerful, keep your heart lifted up. Glad we could have this chat today. Remember to encourage somebody else. Remember that in your reaching out and encouraging them, that you're also encouraging yourself. Stay positive. Have an awesome Monday. I love every last one of you. And I will talk to you all again tomorrow doing Crown Chat. All right. Bye, y'all.